Good morning and welcome to Your Retirement Untangled. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I am joined today by Andrew Nida and Mo Param of CloudVestors. Good morning,
Yes.
Andrew. How are you?
Good morning, Cynthia. I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be with you as well. Mo, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Good, my pleasure. So we've had a lot of time to communicate in between the shows, and I must tell you, it's amazing to hear the feedback and the reception that you're receiving from the viewing audience.
Oh, yes.
People are looking forward to the weeks ahead. They can't wait to see what topics we're going to cover next. And I think that's always the end result for an amazing show. And
Absolutely.
You both deliver so much great information, and people are they're listening and they're taking notes and they're calling in with questions, which has been wonderful.
Absolutely. You know, and the questions that they have, they're coming from really a wide range of lifestyles, right? So we're getting people that are really, 5 years out from retirement, preparing for retirement, 10 years out, or maybe one that is retired and now concerned about some of the things they've seen in their accounts or portfolios. And so all the way down to maybe, the 40-year-old that's really just trying to maximize their savings with now hitting new income levels for their household. So, we're getting calls really from a wide range of individuals, different life settings, different seasons of life. And of course, it makes our job so much more fun because we get to really dive into the different seasons and figure out how to make things work for them.
Absolutely. And you always have a solution for every situation, which has been amazing, because I know that we've talked a lot about, the importance of rebalancing your portfolio.
Yes.
That's a question that a lot of people wonder. It's like, okay, is it time for me to rebalance? And you're able to reach out and tell your clients, yes, you know what, it's time to, let's talk about this. It's time to do it.
Yeah. When it comes to rebalancing, we don't look at some artificial date or end of the year. Here's the first day of the quarter for us to rebalance. We feel that when you're looking at tactical investing, which is what we do for our clients, meaning that we will change their holdings if it makes sense based off market conditions, economic cycles, interest rates, all these factors that gives us the decisions to make if it means that we need to make some adjustments in your overall portfolio. And so staying within your risk tolerance and what that means to be aggressive, what that means to be growth oriented, what that means to be conservative differs, and it varies based off where we are in the world.
Sure.
So when we look at and talk to our clients about rebalancing, it's a proactive step that we take with our clients. Not an artificial date. It is, does it make sense for us right now? Doesn't necessarily mean anything major has to be done, but are there fine-tuning, some tweaks we need to make to stay within your risk tolerance, in your comfort zone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mo. Andrew, how important is it to have good communication with your advisor? For the viewing audience at home that are wondering, what is the typical time frame that people should be looking at for communication?
Yeah, so communication is important, and with this whole CloudVestor, we may have some of you guys out there that are watching the show that might be nervous that, if I'm investing in this whole cloud thing, what really does that look like? It makes me nervous. Will I get communications? Can I reach my team? Listen, one thing that we have done is we've positioned our team in a way that they are available. Available, and that's the key to the clients that we serve. Now, we have our process and how often we're going to do a client review or how often we're going to send out statements or reports, but the reality is our team is ready at any time. You can call your team south or wherever you are right now. You're going to be able to speak with an advisor. You're going to be able to speak with your support staff member. They have access to your plan, just as if you were trying to schedule a meeting with the advisor next door. Right? So communication is as available as one of these listeners or clients wants it to be. And that's, I think, the beautiful part of it. And like Mo was saying, I wanted to add something real quick on the whole rebalancing thing. We manage money actively. We have some of the best investment teams in the industry, period. Okay? So our clients, that's what they pay us for, Cynthia. They pay us to perform, to stay allocated in the right asset classes, the right sectors of the market, no matter what we're facing. So in a market like this, if you're listening to the show and you're out there and you're saying, well, I never saw a change in my portfolio. Well, then I would say as much change as we've seen in our economy over the last 3 months, that might be a concern. That might be a reason to call too.
Absolutely. Mo, how important is it to have a true, comprehensive, written retirement plan? How important is that to a person?
It's as important as having a map if you're going on vacation.
Okay.
You need to know the direction that you're going. If there are any gaps in your plan, what could actually keep you unretired.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it written down, if you don't know where your income is going to come from, what role taxes play in my overall ability to save and ability to distribute money, where does Social Security fit in?
Yeah.
What are my Medicare options? Should I do a Roth conversion or not? What about the legacy? What if I pass away? What happens to my spouse?
Sure.
All these things could be rattling in your head, but if you don't have a plan of action, a call to action, something that you can go back to and say, this is what I need to do. Or, times like this when there is instability, go back to your plan
Yeah.
and say, okay, I was prepared for this. But without it written down, you're almost flying blindly.
Yeah, without a net, if you will.
Without a net.
Absolutely.
So having a written, comprehensive plan is a lifesaver. And it's a retirement saver.
Sure, absolutely. Andrew, is it staggering the amount of people that you hear that do not have a retirement plan, that have no idea what that even is? Perhaps they just have a statement that comes in the mail?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest misconception, right? And in our industry, and it's not really right or wrong, it's just different, right? But there's investors and advisors that have different forms of businesses, right? Just like going to a restaurant, you can pick whatever restaurant you want to, and they all kind of serve you differently. In our industry, you might be working with someone that their primary focus is investing.
Okay.
And so therefore you got a statement. It's an investment strategy, but not a plan. And so many people do get that confused. They have a statement, they think it's a plan, but then they start asking questions. What about the tax situation? What about Social Security? And really what it's telling us is, okay, you have some investments, you've done a good job, but you really don't have a plan put together.
Sure.
You don't really understand how you're going to quite navigate market cycles and income in your retirement and all the things that play an important part of your financial future. So yeah, many people don't. And that's exactly what we do.
Absolutely. Mo, let me ask you a question as far as fees are concerned. Are there often hidden fees that people aren't aware of within their statements and portfolios? If you will?
There are so many hidden fees.
Hit them, Mo. Hit them hard.
Yeah.
Here
we go.
If you look at, what draws people's eyes, first of all, is usually just the return.
Yeah.
Oh, I made this much, or
Yep.
maybe I've lost this much. But when you look at, if you were to just put an X-ray on your portfolio, there's a lot of hidden fees.
Okay.
There's fees for your mutual funds. There's sales charges, which is quote unquote commission for your broker. There is our fee, the advisory fee, and so on and so on. So when we're looking at putting together an efficient investment portfolio, investment strategy for our clients, we take fees into our consideration. And we know that excessive fees can be a drag on your performance.
Sure.
So when you start looking at, why didn't I get as much return as my best friend did?
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
talking about, when you have a great return, a great statement, all that water cooler talk, you start to, have a little bit of
Sure.
bravado, pound your chest a little bit. But when you're not there, you may ask yourself, why am I not getting as much of a return as my best friend?
Sure.
Well, you could be investing in the same type of investment strategy, but the fees.
Yeah.
The fees are just causing such a drag on your performance. So, for our listeners here, if you haven't had a chance to at least ask your advisor, what am I paying for?
Yeah.
What are these little fees that I'm seeing? It's the time to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking about a time to do it, Andrew, we're going to be actually opening up the phone lines.
Yes.
Can you tell the viewing audience what they can expect to receive by calling in today?
Yeah, absolutely. And Mo, I think you hit it great. So what we're going to do today is we're going to offer for the next 10 callers a portfolio analysis. And really through that X-ray view that Mo's talking about, we're going to extract all the information that's important to your investment plan, understanding the risk, understanding the fees that you're paying. Guys, listen, understand what you're paying for and the value that you're getting in return for that expense. We're going to show it to you for the next 10 callers that reach out through our portfolio analysis.
That's an amazing value, Andrew. To the viewing audience at home, we're going to have to take a very short commercial break, but that number to call once again is 866-792-5855. We know you have questions about planning your perfect retirement, so please stay tuned. We'll be back momentarily.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have, by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
And welcome back to your Retirement Untangled. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Andrew Nida and Mo Param of CloudVestors, and another amazing show that we are giving the viewing audience this week. We're talking a lot about just preparing for retirement and how that affects different age groups, if you will. So, Andrew, I want to ask you a question. We hear a lot of talk about a retirement income gap. Can you explain to the viewing audience what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So a retirement income gap is, it's a gap of no fun, right? That's like a donut. You get halfway through the middle and all of a sudden there's nothing. But that's exactly what it is. It's a time in which you may go without. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Let's say that I am 63 years old and I want to retire. Okay. So I pull the trigger retirement. I don't have a pension, but I want to start Social Security at 67, my full retirement age. Okay. Well, at that point, I don't have a way to create the income yet. Okay, there's a gap of income. Or maybe possibly it's an individual that is looking at their retirement, they look at their assets, they look at Social Security. What they're trying to accomplish as far as income is X, but what they have the ability to accomplish is down here. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
So now we have a gap of cash flow. So it does interpret into several different scenarios, but the reality is if you're out there, our goal is to identify if there is a gap soon enough to prepare for it. You know, it's a beautiful time if you're, 5-10 years out from retirement. I think that's always the sweet spot to really play catch up if you need to, but you got to know to need to, right? That's the idea behind it.
Absolutely. And Mo, are you receiving calls from people that are concerned that they might run out of money during their retirement years? Are you hearing that question a lot?
Yeah, not from our clients, but we're hearing that. We're hearing that question. That's one of the biggest concerns.
Yeah.
Is we're all living longer, retirement is not like our grandparents' retirement, where maybe retirement was only a few years. We're seeing people staying retired for 30, 35 years. And so, which is a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a change of shift. It's a change of lifestyle. We're so used to every 2 weeks or every month getting a paycheck. Now we're retired. How do we generate that paycheck for ourselves?
Sure.
And so we're getting a lot of clients that are saying to ourselves, do I have enough, we're getting calls from people asking, do I have enough assets? Do I have enough income to support myself and my family? And then do I even have a plan? Because, with Social Security, you lose a spouse.
Yeah.
You lose an income.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then there may be an income gap there as well.
Sure.
So, so understanding how your assets are positioned to create income for you down the road is huge.
Okay.
And like Andrew mentioned before, understanding and getting an aspect of that before you enter, having a plan, understanding, do I need to play catch up? Do I need to, maybe I'm there already.
Yeah.
Maybe I should take a little bit less risk because I don't want to jeopardize that income for me and my family.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Andrew, Mo tapped in on this a little bit. We were talking about Social Security, of course, but how important is it to have diversified streams of income with your retirement plan?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. I'm going to go back to a topic that we covered in another subject, another show on safe money, smart safe, and smart risk, right? So really a way to create income from buckets, if you will, from areas of your plan that are invested in a different form. Right now with what we've seen in 2020 with this pandemic, such high volatility such a wide range of drawdown, kind of a metrics that we use to measure the volatility. The last thing a client wants to do is be forced to take money out of buckets that have been impacted to the extreme of the market.
Sure.
Right? And so although your money's, as far as our clients, we're mitigating those losses, even though we mitigate the loss, we still have a way to go to another source, if you will, another bucket to create the income that's needed for these individuals in retirement. So smart safe, smart risk. We have Social Security, pension plans that possibly be an option, emergency funds, high interest savings accounts. The plan needs to be built with really the leverage to sustain through market cycles like this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Andrew. So people that are in the viewing audience today, if they're questioning if they can retire, Mo, what are the first steps that you suggest they take to find the answer to that?
Give us a call.
Yeah.
That's the first step.
Right.
But one is understanding what your income needs will be down the road. What are your lifestyle? What is it going to take for you to stay retired as far as a baseline? And then understanding if there is a gap, and looking and seeing, okay, can my assets support the next 20, 30 years, however long it is it'll take you to stay retired.
Okay.
Understanding how Social Security plays a role in it. I'd say something that you may want to do if you haven't looked at it, in a while, is look at your Social Security earnings report, getting a sense of what you will receive. Because we, as a firm, believe that we never want to put stress on our assets just to defer Social Security.
Okay.
So understanding how Social Security will play within your retirement plan. So once getting a sense of what your baseline is going to be, getting a sense of how much assets you have, and seeing how the two meet. And that's really the first step of understanding whether I can retire or not.
Okay.
And if it does meet in the middle, where you have enough assets to support it, it may be time to retire.
Okay. Perfect. Andrew, is there a one-size-fits-all for taking Social Security? Is there an age that everyone should be like, okay, I'm 62, I'm going to take it now, I'm 65? Is there one-size-fits-all?
And even more importantly, you get a one chance shot at this thing, right?
Yeah.
And I remind people that you guys have paid 6.2%, okay, on average, over your lifetime of your gross income, okay, into the system. You've paid a lot of money, so don't just leverage your decision, a lifetime income decision based off what your neighbor did, or your friends telling you, or what your mother and father did. Get into understanding how it's going to work in correlation with your plan. Sometimes it makes sense to defer. Sometimes it makes sense to take it sooner. If you're married, you may be doing two opposite things. One spouse deferring, one spouse taking it sooner. There's filing and restricting options still available. So it is not to try to make it sound more complicated, but it is a big decision. Don't take it lightly, and that's the message. There's not a custom, one size fits all. For all of retirement, wouldn't you say, Mo? I mean, really, it's a very personalized plan that you're putting together for each client that comes in, because everyone's needs are different. Their bucket list would be different. What they want to do with their retirement years, it's all different, right?
Their story is different.
Yeah.
So everyone has a different way that they want their retirement to look. And so what our job is to use the tools that we have to make sure that we have a tailored, customized plan that's specifically for you, not for your neighbor, not for your cousin. It is your perfect financial plan.
Yeah, for peace of mind.
For peace of mind. And so no cookie cutter approach, no two plans look alike, because no two people are alike.
Exactly.
So it is a customized plan that is your specific roadmap for retirement.
Absolutely.
And that is the key that gives you the peace of mind, like you mentioned.
Definitely, which is so important. And Andrew, we're about to open up those phone lines again. Do you want to tell the viewing audience what they can expect to receive by calling in today?
Yeah, I would love to. So today, guys, we've offered the portfolio analysis, and I think fitting for the segment that we're talking about right now, which is primarily on Social Security, I think, Mo, if it's okay, we would like to offer a Social Security maximization report. So a Social Security maximization report, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, you know what, Andrew, I'm 50, 55 years old, I never really looked into it, maybe I'm 60, getting really close to the age of filing. Is there anything I could do to maximize that benefit before I get ready to file? That's what this report will do for you. So for the next 10 callers, you're going to get the opportunity to get a Social Security maximization report based off of your benefits, your ages, and your retirement.
Thank you, Andrew. To the viewing audience at home, we have to take one quick commercial break. That number is 866-792-5855. We know the phone lines are busy, but please keep trying. We promise to answer. Again, the number is 866-792-5855. We'll be back momentarily with more questions and answers about planning your perfect retirement. Please stay tuned.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to Your Retirement Untangled. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Andrew Nida and Mo Param of CloudVestors.
Yes.
And I love saying that, CloudVestors. It's just fun to say. It just
good name.
rolls right off, and it's full of energy. So I wanted to ask you a question, Mo. I'm going to direct it directly to you, obviously. We've had a lot of viewer calls come in, and I love that. So we had a question coming in. They're asking, what is the most important thing to do if they are 10 years away from retirement? What can you suggest they start doing now?
First, give us a call. That's
Okay.
always step number one, give us a call.
Okay.
But the number one thing I would say is get a sense of what your retirement life looks like.
Okay.
And understanding what your income needs are going to be. What is it going to take? Re-examine what you're currently spending right now. What does it take for you to currently live? And then seeing if that's enough for you to live throughout retirement.
Okay.
You know, is that going to support the lifestyle that you want? You know, we hear a lot when it comes to retiring. Clients want to travel more. Mm-hmm. They want to spend time with the grandkids more.
Yeah.
They're not doing it right now. So when it comes to retirement, their life is full of traveling.
Sure.
So does your income support that?
Yeah.
So I'd say number one is getting a sense of how much income you would need to retire.
Okay.
And then we will basically almost reverse engineer from the assets that you currently have and see if there's a gap that needs to be filled. Mm-hmm. So first thing foremost is get a sense of how much income you would need for retirement.
Okay. Andrew, let me ask you, for the couples that are home right now watching together, having a cup of coffee, how important is it that they come in at the same time? Like, is it something that couples need to do together to have a consultation, or can one spouse do it without the other?
Yeah, we never like to do, one-legged appointments or
Okay.
whatever it is. I would love to have both couples there, and there's so many reasons as to why. Number one, we obviously know that men typically predecease their spouses, right, historically. So the reality of a spouse possibly having to take over a financial plan or a financial situation that they're uncertain of, that's always a painful experience. Me and Mo see this all the time, meeting with individuals that lose their spouse, and the first thing they have to do is try to wrap their mind around what the other spouse was doing because they were never involved.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
A terrible mistake. So for the simplicity of just being certain that the other spouse is comfortable with the process, comfortable with the team, ready to take over if it ever comes to pass that they need to, we want both couples there if at all possible.
And being
virtual
makes it easier.
Makes it so much
It
easier.
definitely would. That's true. Yeah. That is true. Mo, what does a relationship look like when someone decides to be partnered with CloudVestors? What can they expect to receive?
Sure. So in the beginning, when we're looking at if we're the right fit for you as a client, and if you're a right fit for us, You have a call with our specialists, with our team specialists, and to get a sense of what your goals are. And with that information, they walk you through our online portal where we start to do some digging in, put some fact finding, get some questions that we can use to start developing a customized plan for you. And then once that is done, you have a call with our lead advisor that's in your area, which is going to be your advisor, and then we deliver the plan that's been customized exactly for you. And then once the relationship is built and you decide to come on board and you hire us as your advisor, we do our annual reviews.
Okay.
But we stress to our clients, if something happens between now and that time that review is scheduled, give us a call. This is your advisory team.
Yeah.
So the relationship is as strong as you want it to be. But we are going to be there on any given moment to continue to add value and to relay any urgent messages that need to be done with your plan. But we tell clients, this is what you're hiring us for. So if something comes up, whether it's hey, I have more discretionary income, or I have a new grandchild, I want to leave, start an education fund for them. Don't wait for your annual review to give us a call.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Absolutely.
And we'll adapt and change your plan accordingly.
Yes.
That's incredible. So again, it's all about personalized service, Andrew, if you will. You really want to have that time with each client to get to know their specific situation and develop a plan that truly fits them.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And as we've mentioned throughout many shows, every plan is different,
Yeah.
right? So it's a process of getting to know the client, understanding where they are, what they're trying to accomplish, what they have, putting a plan together that they can understand, grasp, comprehend, have access to, and then systematically put a process in place for them to get them to where they go. One thing I want to say real quick, for most of our listeners out there that are not clients, beyond building a great plan, we put steps together on an annual basis to make it simple. Let's accomplish this year. And by doing these simple steps systematically, we'll get you to where you need to go.
And so much of the benefit of having both of you working for a client is the fact that when life changes happen, you're able to get them through those changes with peace of mind, like a security blanket, if you will, because we've all experienced the market volatility, the changes that came with COVID-19, and you were able to provide peace of mind to all of your clients during that time. So we only have about 20 seconds left of the show, guys. It's been another amazing week. And Andrew, I want to thank you again for your time. Mo, thank you so very much for your time. To the viewing audience at home, thank you again for watching. We can't wait to see you again next week. We hope you've enjoyed the show. The number to call is 866-792-5855. We'll see you again. Be safe and be blessed.